the Dallas Cowboys had the best record in the NFC, but unfortunately, they got out in the first round they played in against the Green Bay Packers. Now, when I look at the Dallas Cowboys, I still look at their team. They still need plenty of moves, mostly on the defensive side of the ball. But before I go through that, let's talk about Tony Romo. Now, I feel like your best bet of trading Tony Romo is to the Cleveland Browns. Well, the reason why I say that is because that's the only team with an offensive line and the only team with a running back. So, well, who wants Tony Romo? So basically, you trade Tony Romo there, and also you could get the best value from there. Now, when it comes to keeping Tony Romo as a backup, I think that would be kind of awkward to have like a $20 million contract for a backup quarterback. It's not the most ideal thing, and obviously there are some teams that are interested in there, but I think Cleveland is the best fit for Tony, and not only is it the best fit for him, it's also the team where you can probably get the best value if you're talking about draft picks. So that's something you could look at. Now, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, they had the number one ranked rush defense. Okay, let me explain to that. That is not a number one ranked rush defense. I would say a better rush D is probably the Texans probably would say have a better rush D. I probably like the Tennessee Titans rush D more. When I look at the Dallas Cowboys, the reason why they didn't have that a good of a rush D, even though that stats are there, I would say it's not as good as the stats say, is because no one ran the ball on them. And that's because most teams like to defer, the Cowboys like to receive, and from that, the Cowboys like to run the ball a lot. That burns off a lot of clock. So why would teams run the ball just to burn out the clock even more against the Cowboys? That's the idea about it. And they didn't really face any good running backs in the NFC this year. I mean, if you look at their division, they had Robert Kelly of the Redskins, Ryan Matthew of the Philadelphia Eagles, and then they had Paul Perkins for the New York Giants. Well, Paul Perkins later on in the season. And then they obviously faced the AFC North, and I know they had Le'Veon Bell there and all that. But then there's Terrence West, Isaiah Crowell, who's good, and then you got Jeremy Hill, who's and then so really the running back competition wasn't all that great. I mean, I for witnessing Zach Renner just easily running on them. So when it comes to them, obviously Sean Lee's finally healthy. That's a good thing. But he sometimes I like to see him more as a coverage linebacker. I like to see what they do with Gakher. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But obviously on the defensive line, load up there. Have some defensive linemen who could just stop the run. Now, obviously, I like Byron Jones a lot. I also like Brandon Carr. He's pretty good. I also like Barry Church. Now, when it comes to C.J. Wilcox, I think he's a true player. So I actually like the Dallas Cowboys secondary. I think they're a solid secondary unit. I don't think Brandon Carr is a legit number one cornerback, but he's decent. He's good, I guess, I would say. I would put him up there a little bit. He can kind of play well on the outside at times, but other than that, though, they're a good secondary without a shutdown cornerback or true number one, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the Cowboys on the offensive side of the ball, I think it's really interesting. I think they have a very good, talented offense. When you look at, obviously, Dak Prescott got a lot of attention, Ezekiel Elliott. I would look at Dak Prescott. I would say it's like their 8th best player. And I think it might be interesting that since Jason Witten is so valuable to the team, that they might draft a tight end just to sit under Jason Witten, just to kind of learn a lot from him. And when it comes to Ezekiel Elliott, obviously Ezekiel Elliott gets a lot of reps. I would like to see some more running back depth. I know they have Darren McFadden right there, but I think that could be quite interesting. So let's just say Tony Romo is off the Cowboys, because that's what I think the Cowboys should do. I think that they should go sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. Why? Well, because Ryan Fitzpatrick does well when he has a good offensive line, or he at least has that left tackle. He had DeBrickashaw Ferguson for the New York Jets, and he actually threw for like 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, which isn't bad. More of a gunslinger, can make some more plays. And the one issue with me with Dak Prescott, doesn't really use Dez Bryant that much. No, I mean, they don't really have the best chemistry in the world. I think if you put Ryan Fitzpatrick there, the chemistry with Dez Bryant would be much better. And also, he is an athletic kind of guy, and he's also been an NFL veteran, so that's definitely a backup position I would look at. Now, obviously, with the Cowboys, it's mostly development with this team. Development. Obviously, you're going to hope Dak Prescott becomes a great quarterback. You're going to hope Ezekiel Elliott continues what he's doing. You're going to hope Byron Jones becomes a number one cornerback. You're going to hope that Lawrence becomes true pass rusher or Randy Gregory becomes that pass rusher. You hope that Sean Lee can stay healthy. There's a lot of hope for this team. And the idea about it is it's just good. This team obviously had a great 2016 campaign, but at the same time, though, I still think that most of it isn't exactly on this offseason. It's not really important for the Cowboys. It's all about development.